I'm here with my dear friend Luke, joining me all the way from Australia. We are very excited about this training. I am probably more excited than any of you guys. Luke, how are you?
Yeah, doing really well.
Excellent. All right, let me take a look here real quick. Let's see if people are responding. Yes, see and hear good. I can see and hear. I hear you. Hi, guys. Coming pretty well. Excellent, excellent. So people can hear us. Okay, so I won't be doing most of the talking today. I will really allow Luke to marvel us with his ability, and I am really impressed, Luke, I have to say. I've been following you since since May. We met very briefly at Date with Destiny, but I remember when you were on stage and Tony did this little thing with you. It was very cool. So yeah, please, let's start by, please, if you would introduce yourself, tell us a little more about yourself, where you're from, how you got started with this, and then we'll get into the really cool stuff.
All right, cool. Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me on. And it's a real privilege to be here and to be able to serve everybody here. And thanks everybody for joining the call. Because the most valuable possession in our life is our time. So I want to say thanks you to everybody for giving me your time. I really respect that and honor that. And I will give you the best of everything that we've found, to 10x our business and many people's businesses around the world. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you.
Me too. Thank you for accepting my invitation. I mean, we're here to 10x our businesses and 10x our lives, and I cannot think of a better way to do that than starting with the mind.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, our life is headed in a certain direction, and if we don't, what's controlling our direction is our decisions. So if you're taking notes, that's the first thing I'd write down: is it's your decisions that are creating your destiny. All right, and the sum total of your decisions has actually put you where you are today. So I will start going in how I got to here. Actually, it's funny because about 4 years ago, I was actually in Argentina, and I was somebody who
next door, right there. Next door.
Next door, beautiful. And cuando yo fui ahí para aprender español.
All right.
So what happened was that I was living in England. There was a landlady that spoke 6 different languages. And in Australia, it's a little bit different because we learn maybe 1 lesson a week of something like Japanese. But if you want to learn anything, you've got to put yourself in immersion. If you want to learn a language, you've got to put yourself in the environment or learn anything. So I was inspired by this lady that spoke 6 languages. And I thought, that's it, I want to learn Spanish. That's what I want to do, because she told me a couple of words and I started to make some progress in this language. I'm like, wow. And I learned one of the keys to happiness, which is progress. And progress equals happiness. So I thought, wow, that gave me a bit of desire. So I went over to Argentina, and what happened was that I hit a bit of a rough point in my life. I ran out of money and I was broke. And it got to a point where I thought, do I stay in this country and make my dream work and try to find a way to make money, or do I pack my bags and give up? So I'm sure we all have these points in our life where we come at a crossroads and we think, do we keep going, or do we throw the towel in, or do we quit? And I had learned that no, I must never ever give up. So we created a fitness company. From 0 people to 30 people in a class in another language, in Spanish, but I had a lot of fears. And the question is, in life, we can either be living our fears or we can be living from our greatness.
Yeah.
And the fears are not our own. They're ideas and concepts that we've taken from outside influences in the environment as we've grown up. So I started to learn the power of the mind and power of NLP by growing this company. And I'll go into a little bit what NLP is, but it took it from 0 to 30 people in like 5 months, and it was my dream. So I then learned that anything was possible. And however, I hit another hurdle where I had a relationship go upside down, and I felt really depressed. and really low in myself, questioning if I even wanted to stick around. But what happened was, I used to drink to change the way I feel, but I learned that wasn't going to be positive long term. So I had an NLP session, and after 2 hours in that NLP, I felt a complete shift. For the first time in my life, I thought anything is possible. I believed in myself. I got rid of my fears, my limiting beliefs, my emotions, and I felt, wow, other people have to experience this. So yeah, that put me on the path of NLP. I didn't intend to train it, but I'm a trainer of that, and hypnosis as well. And neuro-linguistic programming, probably should explain what that is. Is this
Before you explain it, I have a couple of people saying they cannot hear us. So if you guys, if you can all hear us, please let us know. Okay, okay. Some people are saying they
can you
got
hear me
audio. Yeah, I mean, I was hearing you loud and clear. So if I can hear you and you can hear me, it means it's working because both of us, Luke and I, we're in a different location, so we're not together. So if we hear each other, it means it's working. So it means then it could be your internet connection, guys, or something else. But apparently, yeah, it's back. Okay, some people had to sign back in. If that happens again, you can turn it off and click the link again and sign in again. Okay, guys? All right, so what is NLP? Because I know it stands for neuro-linguistic programming, but that's about it for me. I haven't really read a lot about the subject, and I'm sure some of you guys may have not either, so go ahead, let us know.
Yes, so many of you are probably aware that your thoughts are creating your reality, that your thoughts are determining your behaviors, because whatever you focus on determines the behaviors that you produce in your life. And so NLP is basically the science, we create our world based on two things: the way that we communicate to ourselves and to other people. So it's really the science of changing your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors so you create the success and results consistently you want in your life. And if I can take charge of my thoughts, if I can take charge of my feelings, and I can learn how to produce the behaviors I want in my life consistently, then I can create a life that is consciously what I want. And it came from a guy named Richard Bandler and another guy named John Grinder. And John Bandler, he was a computer expert and a therapist, and Grinder was a linguist. And they were both in the 1970s studying there, or they were both there at the University of California in the 1970s, and they were both bored with what they were doing, and they started looking at what the best in the world do. So in your field, we have people who are the best in the world in our field. And they started to ask, how do these people think? How do the best sports people in the world think? How do the best therapists in the world think? And they started finding out patterns and in what they do in their mind. And they started to elicit how they produce their behaviors, and they put them into patterns, and they put them into a whole bunch of tools and techniques, which they now call NLP. So NLP basically came from modeling, finding what the best in the world do, breaking it down into a strategy so we can install that in anybody else. So anyone in the world or anybody can produce any result that they want in their life, because we know the process in the mind that has to happen to produce any result. So I started to learn this, and I started to create some phenomenal results. Like we had people that had like 60-year smoking habit and get rid of that in about 2 hours.
Yeah, I saw a video you did once with a guy who wanted to stop eating chocolate. It was crazy.
Yeah, so this person was eating chocolate. They were having a block of chocolate a day. Can you imagine that? A block of chocolate a day for 10 years. And so that turned out, it was about 500 grams, so it was about 3.5 kilos of chocolate a week they were eating over 10 years.
Oh.
Yeah. And, in 2 sessions, gone, wiped out the habit. And she's still going today, but after 3 months she hadn't eaten any chocolate whatsoever, and she'd lost about 8 kilos as well.
Crazy.
I could talk a lot about different results, but I don't know but that's just a couple. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we have people in business and success. We have someone that's come on our course, our NLP prac. We run courses in taking charge and breaking through in your life. This lady was a hairdresser, earning like $60 an hour. 2 weeks ago, she's quit her job about 6 weeks ago, and she just had her biggest week and making $12,000 in a week.
That's insane.
So uh, this person had no experience in being a coach. They wanted to be a coach, right? But that's what they wanted. No experience whatsoever. But what she did have is the power of NLP and part of the community that we have and the support that we provide. Another lady closed like a $1.8 million sale and investment with other people. Many people that have quit their jobs and 4 times their business as a result of this, because they're changing what's controlling their behaviors and their thoughts and their results.
Impressive. So how can, for those people who are here watching us and listening to us, what can we do? Where can one start in order to make these changes? Like, how do you 10x? What has to happen first?
Yeah, so I just want you to know, first of all, that we all have dreams and we all have goals, and what's most important is 2 things. Is number 1 is that your dream, that it's possible, and number 2 is that your dream is necessary. Until you make your dream a must, then it will simply be some idea that you will have a way out. And as long as you have a way out from your dream, then you're sabotaging yourself. I made the decision that there's no way out, that the success is the only option, and it's your duty to be successful. That success is your duty, and when you make it a must, then you may have heard the saying, if you want to take the island, you've got to burn the boats. So
yeah.
So many people give themselves a way out, and I'm going to go into why that is and how to overcome that. However, you must make it a must. Your dream a must, if you write that down. And how many of you know that if you look back on your life, that you could have achieved more than what you've done thus far? Many people know that. If you look back on your life, how many of you know that you could have achieved more than what you've done thus far? And I can say I always hear 99% of the people say, yeah, there's definitely more I could have done if I had my life again so far.
Mm-hmm.
So that proves the point. What we are capable of and what our potential is often very different than what we are currently living. And so I want to help you to 10x your life, and I'm going to go into 6 steps to 10x your results, to 10x your income, because that has happened for me, it's happened for many that I've worked with, and there's a science to achievement, there's a science to success. There are laws, just like laws on the road. If you break the laws, then you're going to be in trouble. But if you follow the laws, then you're going to get what you want.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, make sure you have a pen and paper and you write down. And those of you still having audio trouble, try to restart the app, try to stick with us. And yes, this is being recorded, but hopefully you can stay, because you'll be able to ask questions and interact with Luke as this goes. So do your best to stick with us, okay? All right, keep going.
All right, great. Here we go. All right, number 1. If you haven't done this yet, then I would write down everything that you've ever wanted in your life. Okay,
right.
Everything. I call this expansion thinking. Okay, you can only create results to the level of which you've thought. You may have heard the saying that how you think is whatever you think is what you create. Okay, so you become what you think about. That's what I'm saying. You become what you think about. So yes. Expansive thinking is about 10xing your thinking today. The only thing that will change your life is decisions, right? So I'm asking to make a decision to know that you can have whatever you want in your life, and you want to get clear of everything you've ever wanted in your life, everything that you've ever wanted, and also to get clear now on your short-term goals and your long-term goals. All right? So the biggest thing, many things that sabotage people is that they're too scared to even dream big. They're too scared to even set big goals. Yep. Or they don't even believe, or they have limiting beliefs, like they don't even believe that they're worthy to ask for what they want in their life. So these are all limiting beliefs that sabotage people, and if you want to model the best, then you've got to do what the best do. So that's just programmed thinking. If you have limiting beliefs about, oh, I don't know if I could ever have that, or I don't deserve that, or I can't have it, or you're scared of it, then whatever you make a rule in your life, whatever you're scared to do is what you must do. All right.
Yeah.
So most people don't fail. No, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. It's because they aim too low and hit, or many don't aim at all. So most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. It's because they aim too low and hit, or they don't aim at all. So you can't hit a target when you don't know what it is, right?
Right.
You cannot hit a target when you don't know what it is. So so many people are conditioned to believe like there's no point in setting goals, or that they won't happen anyway. These are all limiting beliefs, so they don't even set them, and they think that nothing's good going to happen to them anyhow. And that's because so much of our input is negative. So much of what we hear from the environment, it's been said that 90% of our daily input is of a negative nature.
Wow.
So, and they've done studies. There's a book by a guy named Chad Helmstetter, and he said in the book, what to say when you talk to yourself. He said by the age of 18, the average person has heard 14,800 times the word no, or you can't do it. And
that's a great book, by the way.
Yeah, it's quite scary. So I would say to you, number one is, you don't want to become a wandering generality. You want to become a meaningful specific. So I'm not a wandering generality. I'm a meaningful specific. And a meaningful specific, okay, I would write that down. So not a wandering generality, but a meaningful specific. So get clear goals written down for your short term and for long term. Okay. Most people overestimate what they can do in the short term and underestimate what they can do in the long term. So set bigger goals for yourself. So I would say 10x your goals today. Set bigger goals, 10x that. That's really important. If you are casual in life, then you will become a casualty.
That's a good one.
So do not become casual about, if you're casual about your life and your goals, you will become a casualty. Les Brown said that. So if you look around, right, most people are not depressed, but they're not jumping for joy. Most people are not totally obese, but they're not in peak physical condition. Most people are not homeless, but they are not rich and wealthy, rolling in money. Okay? So whatever most people do does not work. Okay? Whatever most people do does not work. And society has conditioned us to act and feel a certain way. But if you want to become a leader, you must know leaders do not fit in culture. Leaders create culture. Write that down if you're taking notes.
Yeah.
Leaders do not fit in culture. Leaders create culture. We create a culture in our business, in our company. We do not just have, people don't sign up to our courses and to coaching to just change their life. They sign up because they become part of a movement of people who are committed to greatness. So I'm saying to you that you have to stop being okay with being okay. All right? As long as you're okay with being okay, then nothing will change.
Yeah, exactly. Most people are, here's the thing, most people are okay with, that's okay. I didn't get the results I wanted. It's okay. I still have food on the table, and, that's it for them.
Yeah. It's the just enough disease. Or it's like they do just enough. Just enough. I call it the, just the just enough world, where you just do just enough just so you keep getting by.
Yeah, justenough.com.
Yeah. So you have to, you want to, smash through and crush that okay and decide to become outstanding. Decide to become the best in your field. That's a decision. Tony Robbins made a decision early on that he wanted to become the best speaker in the world. So he set big goals to do that. And the problem is that many of us before us have learned that, not to do this. So you can only create results based on how you think. So think bigger, 10x your thinking. You must set clear, specific goals. They did a Harvard business study. in 1979. They did a Harvard study, and they interviewed all the people that finished the Master in Business in 1979. And they asked them, how many of you have set goals? And 83% of them had no goals. And 14, they just finished a business degree. They paid like $40,000. And 14% had goals written down, but no actions on how to achieve them. And 3% had goals written down and written down actions to achieve them. Then they got them all together in 10 years' time, and they said, all right, how many of you are, what are you earning right now? The 14% that had goals written down but no actions written down were earning twice as much as the other 83% that had no goals. Right? And the 3% that had goals written down and actions written down to achieve them, they were earning 10 times as much as the other 97% combined.
Wow.
So clarity is power, and writing down goals is power. Get specific. The more, if you set a target, the more your brain knows how to get there. It's like a servo mechanism. If it knows a target, then it knows how to get there. So imagine everyone here would know that, would be sold on that now. Number one, so to write clear goals. All right? You have to read them daily. You have to read them every morning and every night and constantly be looking at them, which leads us to the number two law for 10xing your results, which is going to be the law of obsession. You must get obsessed about what you want. And Grant Cardone talks about it. He says either get obsessed or be average.
Yep.
Right? It starts with hunger. The only difference between people is their hunger, their desire. And they talk about in Think and Grow Rich, you've got to have that burning desire. And the best in the world, they all have hunger. If you speak to Richard Branson, he's got as much hunger today as he did 30 years ago. The guy's a multi-billionaire, and he lives on Necker Island. He doesn't have to work another day in his life, but what he does have is a lot of hunger. So you must know this, is where focus goes, energy flows. It's, as Conor McGregor says, Conor McGregor is like the famous fighter in UFC, and he says there's no talent here. There's no talent. It's like anyone can do this. It's like all it takes is hard work. It's like we're all equal in our ability, but we're all different in our work ethic.
Correct.
We're all different. Tony Robbins talked about to build his company, he was working like 15 to 17 hours a day, right? I don't know how much work you put in your business. I'm quite extreme, but I put, up to anywhere between, 12 and 16 hours a day work into my business, right?
Yep.
It takes, it takes work. The only thing that works is work. All right? It's the only thing. So, it's this energy in your body, and your energy will come from your focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. Nothing in your life will change until you change the energy in your body. It's focusing obsessively about what you want. There's a lady named Sister Madonna, and Sister Madonna, she was up to 40 years old. She had never exercised in her entire life. Never exercised. And she woke up at 40, she's like, oh, I'm going to start to learn to run. So on day one, she walked a block. Day two, she walked 2 blocks. Within a year, she was running marathons. And from the age of 40 to 72, she had run over 350 triathlons and done over 35 Ironmen.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's a lot for a 35-year-old man, let alone a 72-year-old old woman. Right, so if you're not familiar with, an Ironman, basically you're doing a 42-kilometer run, you're doing a 4-kilometer swim, and a 180-kilometer bike ride.
Yeah, it's insane. I won't be able to do it.
It's incredible. So on her 72nd birthday, she's like, I'm going to fly to Hawaii and do this Ironman competition. So imagine you're like this 72-year-old lady, you've just woken up on your 73rd birthday, and you're like, I'm going to run a triathlon today. And so she goes. She's like in the triathlon, and imagine you're this old lady doing the triathlon, and now you've done the run. You've run 42 kilometers, and now you've done the swim. You've swum 4 kilometers, and now you're on the bike, and you're 2/3 of the way. And she's pedaling, she's going fast. And imagine you're that 72-year-old woman passing 30-year-old men.
Insane.
Better yet, imagine that you're that 30-year-old man watching that 73-year-old woman pass you. It's crazy, hey? She was going, and all of a sudden the wind picked up. And wind picked her up, and then she smashed on the rocks, and she broke her collarbone. And she had to be taken to hospital. And what happened was that they made a law. They said, that's it. No one over 65 can run this race again. And so what she did, she said, can I run in it? They said, no. So she decided to fly there, do the race again without a number on her back. She did the race. She did the race without a number on her back, and she completed the race. And because of that, they lifted the rule and let anyone over the age of 65 run the race again. How's that for an inspiring lady?
Very inspiring lady.
What it is obsession equals results. This lady was obsessed. She was so obsessed. The only thing you want to think about is your goals. Just think only about your goals all day, every day. Put it everywhere. Put it on your phone. Put it on your windscreen, on the dashboard. Put it in the mirror. Because what's going to happen is you're going to activate a part of your mind called the reticular activating system. And you're going to notice all evidence and all this information on the outside world to support you to achieve your goals, right? And so that's obsession equals power. Stu Middleton was obsessed. He was a marathon runner. He ran 1,000 miles over 11 days. So that was incredible. It was like 77 miles a day, 21 hours a day he was running off 3 hours sleep a night.
Like Forrest Gump.
Kobe Bryant didn't leave the court until he had done 400 hoops each day. Didn't do it. So obsess and be obsessed. The biggest lesson I heard him write this down is increase your obsession. Increase your obsession about what you want.
Increase your obsession. Write that down, guys. It's way more powerful when you grab a pen and write things down than just, oh yeah, sure, I'll think about that. Just, do it now.
I tell you why, because whenever you write something down as well, it drives it 500 times deeper into your nervous system. And if you just listen to information in 6 weeks' time, you remember about 10 to 15%. But if you write it down, then you remember over 50% in 6 weeks' time. If you activate your nervous system and if you act upon it immediately, then you remember 100% of it. Okay? So that's number 2. Number 1, I said set goals. Number 2, get obsessed. And number 3 is you want to remove your blocks. All right?
Now, I think that's the biggest step.
Okay. I'm going to teach you some free ways to remove your blocks. All right? I'm going to tell you that I used neuro-linguistic programming, like a course for that, and coaching. But I'm going to tell you first the patterns that control humanity and why so many people are a victim of their programming rather than a creator of their unlimitedness.
Yeah. This
is how it happens. So what some blocks are, the main thing that holds people back is fear. Same thing. Fear and limiting beliefs. So, and that can be summarized, and it was told by Jordan Belfort as well, and other people in the industry, that the only thing stopping you from getting what you want is the story you tell yourself about why you can't have it. That's the only thing. And many of us are running a story. So the fear is the main thing that holds us.
Oh, now I lost your audio, Luke. I lost your audio for a sec. That's weird. You guys still here? I lost the audio. You still hear me though, right? Oh no, what happened? Can you guys still hear Luke? Okay. Yeah, some people lost it too. Oh, okay. Oh, we lost you completely, Luke. I think you need to sign in again. Hang on a sec. He'll be back. Okay, sorry guys. He'll be back. It was getting really good, wasn't it? You guys can still hear me though, right? Can you guys hear me and see me? Can you still see me? Okay. No worries, no worries. He'll be back. I'll message him over here just to make sure. Okay, wait a second, guys. Technology.
Hello?
Okay, you're back. You're back. I hear you.
Okay.
Can you guys hear?
All
Can
right.
you guys hear Luke again?
I hope you can hear me back.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So
if you can turn your camera again.
Oh, my camera. Yeah. Where are we here? So here we are.
There we go. All right. Cool. All
Right.
right. Fear. We were talking about fear.
Okay. Fear is the primary thing that holds people back, and all these other fears, like like a fear of success, fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of failure, all these stuff are expression of two deeper fears. And these are the two things we try to protect ourselves: fear that I'm not enough, and if I'm not enough, fear that I won't be loved. All right. And they're the two things that you're just trying to protect yourself from. The mind is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you survive. It's a protection device, right? It's a protection device. So you've got to train your brain. And it's constantly looking of what's wrong or what it can compare itself to or what it can protect itself from, so it knows whether to fight or flight, okay? So it's looking to protect ourselves from these two deepest fears, that I'm not enough, and if I'm not enough, I won't be loved. And in order, if we were to feel worthless and unloved, that would basically be psychological death. So in order to protect ourselves from these fears, we come up with a story to protect ourselves from these fears about why our life is not the way that we want it. All right? And that story is our breaker switch. But the story that protects you is the same story that imprisons you. And the story that people come up with about why their life is not the way I'd write that down. The same story that protects you is the same story that imprisons you. I hear people every day, I'm like, do a live video, or do this video, or do this, and it will work. And I know it will work, but they come with a story. And we have stories about why we don't take the actions we know that we should, or do the things we know that we have to that would give us results, or why we're not where we want to be in our life. And the story could be, oh, I need to read one more book. Or I need to learn a bit more, or the weather's not good today, or I just don't feel like it today, or, you know...
Lots of bestsellers in there. All the stories.
All the stories. All the stories say, oh, okay, yeah, oh, but I didn't wake up with energy today, or, you know, whatever the story is, okay? And that story in your mind, the only reason why you've come up with that is to protect yourself from your deepest fears that I'm not enough and I won't be loved. All right? So now that you know where it comes from, you can know that's just a story. And I always say to people, divorce your story and marry the truth of your own unlimitedness. Okay? So your own unlimitedness is, I made a rule that your fears are your limits, right? And the best way to get rid of the fear, if you do what you fear, then the fear will disappear. If you do what you fear, your fear will disappear. Life is a dance between what we desire most and what we fear most. And if you focus on what you want, then you're going to dance the dance much better. So focus on what you want. I give people a strategy, right? So if you want to break through the fear, this is what I do. You want to get yourself in a state of absolute certainty. So the way to do that is you can fire an anchor, right? So I imagine there's like a glass wall here, right? I imagine there's a glass wall, and then I go like, yes, with total certainty, right? Total certainty. I go, yes, and I associate certainty to my goal, or certainty to the action I want to produce. Just say if it was a video, right? So I go, yes, and now I produce total certainty, and then I just press a button, I go, right? And sometimes the other thing that I do that helps is I make a picture in my head 15 minutes after the successful thing of what I was scared about. So I go 15 minutes after the successful completion of what I thought I was scared about, then I can't be nervous, I can't be scared, because I imagine it going well, right? 15 minutes after imagining it going well, like a good video. It's like I just finished the video, it went how I want. 15 minutes after it going well, I'd be celebrating. So that's how to do it. So fire what we call an anchor. An anchor is basically what's called a stimulus response. So you do a move, or something like that, or you think of something, or you have something on the outside that triggers you to feel a certain way. So fire the anchor to go into certainty and then act. All right. If you do what you fear, the fear will disappear. So now it's about doing that. I talk to so many people and say, if you got to get out of that comfort zone. Like, I must tell you, like, the only way to get success, this 10x results you've never had before, is you have to jump. You have to jump into the unknown. You have to go where you've never been before to go where you've never been before. All right. So a lot of people, if you want security, you'll find that in prison. But if you want freedom, then you've got to act on what you want. So you have to jump into the unknown. I say, like, imagine jumping off a cliff. The more you stand on the edge, the more you'll talk yourself out of it. So when you jump, your parachute is not going to open straight away. You're going to get some bumps. You're going to get some bruises on the way down. People are going to say things about you. They're going to judge you. But what happened is, because you've jumped, that parachute will open. That parachute will open. It must open because you've jumped. So go into the unknown. You must go into the unknown. Do what you've never done before to have what you've never had before. That's how it works. All successful people, they all frame failure much differently than those that struggle. All right? So failure is only failure when you quit.
Yeah.
No, it's only failure. It's only when you quit. All right? Everything else is just feedback. All right? Failure is just feedback. It's telling you to change your approach. Sarah Blakely, the big billionaire of spandex, the lady that created that spandex product, she's like multi-billionaire. She was told that failure is not trying. So she learned from a young age, and her dad would say to her, "Oh, okay, did you fail today?" And she said, like, "What do you mean? Did you not? Was there new things that you didn't try?" She's like, "No, I tried heaps of new things." Great, you succeeded.
Awesome.
So
that's an awesome way of thinking. I mean,
how good is that? It's like if you want to know what failure is not trying. Failure is not doing. So Jack Ma, he's a guy that's a multi-billionaire in China. He's like the 5th richest man in China. And he talks about how, the best advice I can give to people is go to make lots of mistakes. Go make mistakes. Go get lots of no's. Because without making mistakes, you can't learn. Without learning, you can't grow. Without growing, you can't be happy. And what's life if you can't live a happy life? Okay, it's not. So it's about doing what you've never done before to get those results. So it's removing those. Also, those. What was the other thing I was thinking of? Okay, there's a difference between whingers and whiners. Okay, winners and whiners. Okay, whiners wait to feel good before they act. But winners know that they act and then they'll feel good. Okay, so whiners wait to feel good, then act. Winners go act and then I'll feel good. That's the difference there. So removing that, divorce the story, marry the truth of your own unlimited. Crush your story, do what you've never done before, and just act. Okay, that's how it works. So you must believe anything first before you must believe in the result before you can achieve any result. I know a lot of people here might be taking a lot of action. Maybe there's a lot of action takers here and they're like pissed off or they're upset because they're not getting the result that they want, right? Okay. And I want to tell you what can stop you, and what's the biggest thing to stop you is limiting beliefs. All right? Now, belief, to create any result, you have to believe it first. I'll tell you why. Because belief is the vibrational match of the result that you want. Okay, so whatever you want has a certain vibration, has a certain energy, and the only energy that to create that certainty is the vibrational match for the result you want. Anything less than certainty is sabotage. Anything less. So you have to produce certainty in your body. I chose NLP and hypnosis, but on your own, it's like firing your anchor every single day. doing it daily, reinforcing certainty in your body. If you did nothing else but just got in a state of absolute certainty and then acted, your results would transform. You would 10x everything.
Yeah.
All right. So your reality is created by, everyone who was successful believed it first. Whether it was Thomas Edison getting light out of a light bulb, the Wright brothers getting a plane to get off the ground, Richard Branson in his success, all of the people, Muhammad Ali, they all believed it first. So choose beliefs like, I am unstoppable. I'm a force of change on this planet. I'm number one in my field. The strongest force controlling your behaviors is the need to stay consistent with how you identify yourself. So what's your identity? You want to choose an empowering identity. If you choose, I'm number one in my field now, the only person who needs to believe it or needs to know it's right is you, not other people's thoughts or other people's ideas. If you know you're number one in your mind, that's all that counts. You know I'm this, that's all that matters. So that's how to really do it. Choose your beliefs wisely, because you become what you believe. Beliefs either create or beliefs either destroy.
Yeah.
And that's beliefs rather than beliefs create or beliefs destroy. And so you can ask yourself, what are the beliefs that have controlled me up until today? And for many people, they're living beliefs that society has chosen for them rather than their own conscious choosing. So every belief has a consequence. Every belief. So choose your beliefs consciously and wisely, because whatever you believe, you're going to find evidence to support that. If you believe I'm worth $100, then you're going to find lots of evidence to find $100. If you believe I'm worth $1 million, you're going to find lots of evidence to find ways to make $1 million. This is what Donald Trump did. You create your reality by validation. Your beliefs determine what you notice and don't notice.
Makes sense. and talking about, what you mentioned before about if you believe you're number one in your mind, that's all that counts. The problem is people, and I include myself, sometimes I do this too, we compare to others. It's like, how am I going to be number one if this other person is already number one? And then, of course, what do? You keep feeding that belief into your mind.
Yeah, you sabotage yourself, right? Because, comparing creates pain. Comparing creates sabotage, all right? And I tell people that the only person you need to compare yourself is to you. Am I acting in accordance with my own personal best? So I say, look, Michael Jordan said this, no one could beat him on the court because he was comparing himself to his own personal best, not anybody else. And if you're giving your personal best, then you can always be happy and feel good, because you can't create from a space of frustration or disappointment. You cannot do that. But what you will create is from a place of a beautiful state, or of love or joy or happiness or passion or excitement. And that will only happen by saying, I decide to give my personal best, and deciding to know that the only person who knows I'm number one is me. That's all that needs to matter. All right. So that's the part of it there. So I said the number one, set goals. Number two, get obsessed. Number three is remove your blocks, and you do it by either creating certainty in your body daily and listening to empowering things. Make decisions about your new beliefs today. All right. You have to know why 10 times more, why your product or service is worth 10 times more than what it is. If you're not certain that your product or service is not worth 10 times more than what you asked for, then you're going to allow other people's objections or limitations to sabotage themselves.
Right.
When I could do a whole thing on just sales, right? But basically, you must know before you go into any before you go into any deal or any prospect, why it's worth 10 times more than what you're asking for. Why it's done that. Know that in your soul, why it's worth it. I've found that to be the biggest difference,
Mm.
So that's number three. The fourth thing is modeling. Okay, so one of the things that I did when I started out, modeling says that if there's someone that has a result that you want, then why reinvent the wheel? Find out what they did and just do what they did. Find out what they did. So one of the first things I did is I got a coach who was experiencing what I want. Like, this guy's successful, he's making great money, he's changing a lot of lives. So I got a coach, and he helped me to remove my blocks and give me the mindset that he's similar to what he had and what he was doing. He told me, so I produced similar results. So what I want to leave you with is there someone who's best in the world at what you do? There is for everybody, right?
There is.
So if you wanted to bake a cake and you never baked a cake before, would you like try to just do it on your own, or would you just find who makes the best cakes in the world and get their recipe? Just get the recipe.
Yeah. Oh, no, I lost you. Oh no, you're back.
Leave clues.
You're back.
Yeah, stand on the shoulders of giants. Success leaves clues. The people, I found out their beliefs, their values, and installed that in myself, or decided to model those beliefs. And model the beliefs and the values of those that have the result you want, and you'll produce the similar behaviors. All right? So that's number 4. Shall I leave with number 5, the last one? Number 5. Who wants the last one? The number one.
Raise your hand.
Best tip, the best law.
Yeah.
Come on, say yes. I want the law. I want the law of 10x, the 10x law. All right.
We're getting some
Here
hands.
it goes. Okay, hands. Okay, great. This is the 10x law coming up. All right. Today, you want to 10x your actions today. So, do 10 times, if you take 10 times more action than you've taken up until now, then you create 10 times results than what you've created up until now. How many calls do you make a day? If you made 5 calls and you turn that up to 50 calls, you 10x your results. If you do 10 calls and you made it to 100 calls. One of the things one day is I said to myself, if I don't make 50 calls today, I'm going to sleep on the floor. How many people are that committed to their goals? So many people, their goals are like, they're like something that's convenient. You're either going to do something. You're either going to be interested or committed. If you're interested, then you'll do what's committed. If you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. But if you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes. So I tell some of the people, I said, if you don't do this, you can sleep outside tonight. If you were that serious about your goals, then your goals would become a reality. So make yourself accountable to somebody who's going to force you to follow through. That's how to 10x. Make yourself someone you respect. So if you told someone, look, if I don't make 50 calls a day, I'll go to sleep on the floor. I want you to call me at 7 p.m. tonight. If I haven't done it, I'm on the floor. So
yeah, I mean, in the end, it's like giving yourself, because we all like rewards and everything, but you have to give yourself something else that will also motivate you to be afraid of, oh, what's going to happen if I don't accomplish my goal? I'm going to sleep on the floor. I'm going to sleep outside, Yeah. If
you associate more pain to what's going to happen if you don't act than the pain of action, then that will pull you through to take action. If you associate more pleasure to taking action than the pleasure of not taking action, then you will take more action. So associate more pleasure to taking action and more pain to not taking action, then you're going to follow through. Yeah. All right. So people either they're motivated to move away from pain or more towards pleasure. If you use both, then you'll be pulled through. So I'd decide that. Choose someone who's got the results. Take massive action. Massive action is the cure-all. If you take enough action, you'll find a way. All right. So work. If you go see a horse race, it's that. What's the difference between the winner and the rest of and that comes second? It's usually only 2 millimeters. It's 2 millimeters. So do just a little bit more than everyone else, then you have more success. I did a course with a whole bunch of coaches, right? It's like 100 in the room. And I'm looking back, some of them are still trying to grow and still struggling because of not applying this principle of just doing massive action, 10x your actions, and make yourself accountable to follow through. All right? The only thing that will change your life is raising your standards. raise your standards. You are earning now what you must have. You have your health as what you must have. I wish I'd give you something easier, but raise your standards. There you go.
There you go. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let me see, guys, do you have questions, comments? Anybody would like to share one of their specific blogs and see if we can work it out here? Let me see.
Yep. Any challenge, any problem, let me know. I'm here. I'm ready.
Polly is saying, I sleep on the floor now. Guess I will have to go sleep outside on the ground. You already sleep on the floor. Okay.
All right. Okay, good. So isn't this interesting? So about how comfortable we can get still in our environment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for many of us here in Australia, so outside, so make it a must. That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions? Let's see. Okay. Anybody has any comments or questions? Come on, I know you guys do. Don't be shy.
Anything.
Come on.
Yeah. Secret to wealth is ask.
Yeah. Let me see. Polly G says, how do you know what to focus on 10x? I'm not sure I understand the question. How do you know what to focus on 10x?
All right, so yes, this is what I'd say. I'd set a goal that's 10 times what you've set today. All right, set a bigger goal of 10 times than what you've set today, and you must take 10 times what you think it would take to achieve that goal. All right, and so for example, if you've set a goal to make 3,000 a week, then set a goal.
Losing you.
Ask yourself, okay, how would I achieve that? Or what's some different way? Yeah, so say like if you set a goal to make 30,000 a week, how would I achieve that? Or what would happen if I did this? Who's already achieved this result? Who's already doing what I want? So it's deciding on to set goals into the future that are 10 times what you've set now, and ask different questions. Questions are the answer. So who's already got this result, and how can I do it? What if I did this? What if I did that? And that will give you different answers.
Perfect. Let me see. We got a few more comments here. Regina says, everything he has said I am guilty of, especially the limiting beliefs.
All right. Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I can give in this, I'm going to offer the back end. Do we talk about like a coaching call for those, any of those that want it, right? Okay, now we remove them, but I'm going to tell you a free way as well, right? So, because we run courses in neuro-linguistic programming in Sydney, in March next year to be able to do that, and remove any of those, but also fears and things like that. But and also we do coaching for that. So, however, on your own, what you can do is you want to associate massive pain to the consequence of the limiting belief. So ask yourself, if I didn't act today, if I didn't decide, if I didn't decide to act today, if I didn't decide to believe this today, what are the worst negative consequences in 20 years or 50 years' time? What will I miss out on? What can't I have in my life? What about all the people that I couldn't help? Who couldn't I help if I missed out? So I put myself, at 80 years old in the rocking chair, and I think, if I didn't act, if I didn't believe this now, then what are the worst negative consequences? I'm like, that would be the worst life. I'll be in this exact same place I am today at 80 years old. That would be hell. So I decide to act now. Most people wait for an external result to give themselves an internal belief. If your results are here, just say if your results are here, your belief has to be like here.
Yeah.
So you have to decide, because the results will rise up to become a match for your belief. So it's deciding to believe that, because that will have the most positive consequences for you and all the people that you can help, and anchor that in with certainty in your body. Make it a must. Yeah.
Ernest is asking, by the way, guys, I just gave you a link. If you check in the chat, I gave everybody a link where you can schedule, I mean, not schedule, you can apply and then look, or his team, they'll get back to you to schedule it for a strategy call, okay, free strategy call. If you,
Also,
yeah,
so B, rather than because we're so busy at the moment, we can only do the first like two like free ones. All
yeah,
right. After that is basically you know I usually charge quite a bit, but I'll give it after that it's $100 for that discovery session for the hour. That's $100 Australian. I don't know what that is in other you
in
know
US is about 80,
about
78,
80.
80, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
so, yeah.
100 Australian. The first two that you know apply will get a free one.
Yeah, so go ahead, guys, and fill out that form if you would like it for free. If you would love to continue to dig deeper into this, like Luke said, they are doing a seminar in Australia next year, the NLP practitioner, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah, if you guys want to dig deeper into this and really, really master your fears, your beliefs, because I know sometimes it takes a little more help. Sometimes, you know, we can sit through a webinar, we can go to a seminar, and sometimes it's not enough. So for those of you who are really serious about it, fill out the form, and the first two will get it for free. Thank you, Luke, for that. Okay, continuing with some questions here. What's your daily mantra to get you to stay in such a high energy and vibe? Ernest is
Yep.
asking.
Okay, that's a great question. Really great question. First of all, when I wake up, I go straight into gratitude first. All right. So most people, I say start instead of starting with fear, start with thanks. So I start with I wake up and I'm going on a rant of all the stuff I'm grateful for. And when I start my day, I'm in the gym. So on the way to the gym, I'm telling myself all I am powerful language. I'm telling myself, I am number one. I am unstoppable. I am a hurricane. I am a force of change. Like I am, what else do I say? Like I am unstoppable. Like I'm the rock. Like, you know, I'm a superpower on this planet. Like, you know, I'm saying I am, and sometimes I have to use like swearing, like explicit language to help me to feel the emotion of it. You know, some people say like affirmations, like, you know, like they go, I'm happy, but the brain goes, bullshit, you're not happy. So the
Yeah.
affirmations, like saying something, you've got to produce the energy in your body by saying like you in movements with your body, like in the car on the way to the gym or in the morning, like I'm unstoppable, I'm a force, I'm amazing, I'm great. You know, I'm change, I'm a hurricane, I'm the rock, you know, I'm a champion, I'm the champion, you know, I'm saying stuff like that all morning. So doing that and moving your body. So the fastest way to change your state is move your body, all right, physiology, with this empowering language and focus. That's how I'm doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then Polly, she's asking, how do you pick which thing you want to 10x if you have many things you're doing at the same time? Like, do you focus on one? How do you know which one to go with first? Do you just 10x everything? What do you do?
Yeah, okay. So this is good. This is about asking quality questions. So you want to ask yourself, what action will give me the fastest, highest result? Okay. What is the highest money-making actions that I can take today?
Mm-hmm.
So many people spend time on things that don't make the money. During the day, you will only be spending time on money-making actions. I talk to a lot of people, they're like trying to build a website during the day, or they're trying to like learn or read a book during the day. I'm like, are you kidding? Like 8:30 to like 8 a.m. to, you know, like 6 p.m. is like the days where you want to be making sales, you want to be making calls, you want to be only producing money-making action. So I ask myself, what is the highest money-making actions that will give me money the fastest today?
Mm-hmm.
Great question, hey?
Mm. Yeah, it is a good question, because some people are, and sometimes for example, yesterday I spent like 3 hours trying to figure out how to broadcast from my computer to YouTube with the software that I installed, because I wanted to broadcast my screen on YouTube. Like, oh my God, I spent 3 hours trying to figure out this technical thing, which, you know, doesn't produce any money. I was doing it for a webinar, and the webinar was supposed to produce money, but it didn't work. I spent 3 hours and then it just didn't work out. So there
Yeah,
you have it.
you want to do that stuff in the nighttime, in the nighttime, and plan your time the night before. If you make that decision, I really recommend that to people. I always plan my time the night before.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Every 15 minutes you plan, you save 1 hour in execution.
1 hour? What?
You save in every 15 minutes of planning, you save 1 hour in execution. 1 hour of time.
If you plan.
15 minutes of planning saves 1 hour of time. That's from Brian Tracy. Talks
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good at that. God Save has a question. What's the best way to break from continuously training, parentheses, like watching marketing videos, to implementing? How do you break that cycle of learning all the time?
All right. Okay. Yeah. So how do you break the cycle of learning? I ask myself, what is the purpose of me learning this material? Okay. Learning is great. However, to break that, the only thing that's going to change your life is a decision. Okay. And it's making the decision to schedule that learning time outside of the money-making hours during the day. So decide that, in order to achieve my goals, I must take action. So decide to take actions during the day and schedule your learning for outside, like in the nighttime or early morning. Okay? So you must do that. Think of the negative consequence. If I keep doing this forever, then I'm going to have the same results today in 20 years. So
Scary. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, if you like where you are now, then keep doing it. But if you don't, then you must make the decision to change it now and take that actions during the day.
Absolutely. Okay, couple more questions. Katie's saying, I have heard from a friend this equation. Things about X I like having. Things about X I don't like having. Choices. Can you read the questions too as well on your end? You should.
I'll have a look.
Choices I make about what I want. Is this from NLP? I don't know what you mean. I guess you replace the X with something.
Yeah, if you, she can ask it again, see if she can frame it again, or if.
Okay, I'll read it for you again. I have heard from a friend this equation. Quote, things about X I like having. Things about X I don't like having. Choices I make about what I want. Is this from NLP?
Oh, okay. All right, yes. So making a list about everything that you want is part of a success formula of NLP, because one of the one of the steps that we say of creating success is, number one is know your outcome, okay, and know your outcome, know your goals, know the result that you're after, okay. So I always think, what's my outcome for everything that I do, right? So the outcome of the purpose of writing down everything that you want in your life is so that your brain knows what it needs to do to achieve it.
Yeah, makes total sense. Ernest is saying, I love the hurricane. Thanks, Luke, you're awesome. Great answers. And last question, do you have to declare all I am out loud or just in the mind?
Say that again?
Do you have to declare all, quote unquote, I am, like I am,
yes,
out loud or just in your head?
I recommend definitely it's best out loud, because when you do it out loud, you create sound. When you make sound, that produces energy in the nervous system.
Yeah.
Like they found that loud sounds actually drives it all the way down through your nervous system to produce the energy of what you want in your nervous system.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's good. I'm in the gym. I'm saying to myself, maybe the way that I say it, but in my room and in my car, I'm like yelling it out, and I'm like even making screaming sounds to get the energy in my body.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things we do at Tony Robbins seminars. He makes you scream a lot. Then you're like, why are we screaming so much? And then that's the explanation. There is a physical explanation as to why you should say it out loud, why you should write things down. It's not just because it looks prettier or something. It has to do with your nervous system and the anchor that it creates for you. Because then, if you do it every day, if you do these practices every day, I mean, if you do it once, I heard this from someone. If you do this once, it'll change your day. If you do it every day, it'll change your life. So if every day you start repeating these things, and sometimes I do it in the shower. I say I am these things. But ideally, you should try to do it every day. And another thing that helps is jumping while you say it. Like if you're inside the house, you don't have time to go for a walk, or you don't go to the gym. Jump and repeat these things. Like I am the hurricane. I love that one. All right. So guys, I hope you loved it. Did you guys love this? Please let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this very special, different webinar. And because if you did, we'll definitely have to do this again, Luke.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Awesome, guys. So, well, you have the link right there. Very inspiring and motivating. Thank you, Katie. It's always
can I mention about any social media stuff if they want to?
Oh, please. Follow? Yes. If you guys want to follow Luke or contact him, I'll give everybody your profiles anyway, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So just my Facebook page is Success with Luke. Is my Facebook page Success with Luke. You can feel free to add me as a friend. I'm happy to. I love getting new requests. Also, I'm on Instagram, which is luke.william.hawkins. We'll give you this information as well. luke.william.hawkins, and Snapchat is Success with Luke.
Adding them all here.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm adding them all here in the chat for everybody, but still you guys will get it when I post the replay video. I'll add all of Luke's contact info so you can get in touch with him. There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if you do want that call, the first two to write in and fill out the form, they have the link, I believe. First two will get a free one, and after that, it's $100 for the session. We've had people do this session, and we've had people go as high as 20 times their income in 2 months after one session after this thing.
I'm actually doing a session myself, guys, so you see that I walk the talk. I already paid for my session. You guys are getting it free. I am paying. There you go. No, really, the first two, go ahead, fill out the form, cmlink.me/Luke. I'll post it for you guys again. The first two will get a call. If you're not among the first two, I mean, fill it out anyway, okay? Luke's team will get back to you and let you know how to proceed.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you so much, Luke. Thank you so much. People loved it. I'm getting some, Luke is brilliant. Thank you so much for being such a hurricane. Thank you, awesome. We are lucky. Yeah, you are. I hook you up with the best, don't I?
I'll take a photo so I see.
Oh, yeah, Snapchat.
Yeah.
Awesome. This was really, really fun. Hope you guys got as much value as I did. There we go. All right. Okay. Great training. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. Great value. Thank you both. Okay, people loved it. Awesome.
Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming.
Snapchat. That was awesome. All right. All right, guys. Thank you. Replay will be posted really soon. If you guys subscribe to my email list, you'll get it. And thank you for coming. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Please, please, please do something with this. Please implement it. Yeah, most people don't. All right. I don't hear you anymore, Luke.
Yeah, I'm
there
here.
You are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Let me. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm gonna contact you on Skype now, and I'm gonna end the broadcast. Bye, bye, guys. Thank you. You're awesome.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much. And on the serve. Been on the surf. Great.